Welcome back to the show. You know, maybe Kyle Shanahan should have opted to play defense first in overtime. Maybe not. We don't quite know. But man, Florio went the whole way, huh? Pumpkin alert. Chiefs coach Andy Reid got a fresh start, albeit after 14 seasons with the Eagles. Shanahan already has 7 years with the 49ers, and he's lost 2 Super Bowls. I think it changes, you know? He brought them to lost 2 Super Bowls. At what point will it be in his best interest and or the team's best interest to have a reboot? He's losing his job.
Florio, my pal.
Okay, we'll start with you. Will Shanahan eventually need a restart?
I don't think the Niners should believe anything other than we want Kyle Shanahan as our coach as long as we can possibly have him. For Kyle, here's the thing, and I promise I am not taking a shot at Brock, but he knows how hard it is if you don't have that guy at quarterback. And that's why, and now it ended up being the wrong decision, that's why they traded 3 first-round picks for Trey Lance. Because he wanted finally to be in a playoff game and say, you know what, fair fight. If not, actually, I've got the better dude, as you would put it, coach, at quarterback. And the Niners, now at this point, kind of a victim of their own success. Unless Brock Purdy takes what I would consider to be a massive leap or two, they're never going to have that guy unless they all then, get super lucky in the draft because they're not going to draft high. And so I don't think the Niners should want to move off Kyle Shanahan, but I do think if Kyle Shanahan's like, man, the next time a Justin Herbert type job comes open, I would understand if Kyle Shanahan was like, man, that would be fun to be able to coach that type of guy.
Coaches.
That's all. Look, I think first Kyle does have to look in the mirror. Like every coach has their flaws, including Andy Reid, Belichick, all that. And he's got to look at the things he has not done. And maybe I would imagine he's doing this. But look at the clock management and why haven't I done some of these things in these big games? Like he's really got to sit down. And if it means bringing somebody alongside you that helps you with those things, you got to do that. So that's number one. I think next year is critical for them. Because, and I think to your point, how long he stays, because he might want to go somewhere else. Some of it may depend on Brock Purdy. Does he show next year that he's really that guy? Not just he has another good season like this, but does he show you that, he can carry you? You can't just win with him. He can carry you.
Yeah. What's up? He's just in overtime against what you guys calling the GOAT quarterback. He's just in overtime.
But
Brock Purdy took Patrick Mahomes to overtime, this great defense, to overtime. It's like maybe he's not the guy.
Well, no, I think you just want to see more. Like even CJ Stroud, I want to see it another year.
He's gone to the Super Bowl or NFC Championship, 4 out of the last 5 years? And he lost in overtime to Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs with his 3rd defensive coordinator in 3 years. And they built continuity in the organization. They took a quarterback that was the last pick in the draft, and he's been incredibly successful. I think Brock Purdy's made a lot of strides over the course of that time. And we say reboot, like Andy Reid, suddenly decided, hey, I don't like Philadelphia anymore. He got fired. They fired him after he went, 4 and 12. And his reboot happened to come with Patrick Mahomes. That's
not immediately.
Not immediately. But that's really what it is.
But there's a lot of other coaches that are rebooting, like Sean Payton's rebooting in Denver, and it's not going as smoothly because he's got Russell Wilson. So as you look at the grass being greener somewhere else, it may not be. He's got a relationship with ownership. He's got a relationship with the GM. They've got continuity. I mean, there's a lot of things that have been really great about what he's done.
Yeah, wouldn't you say?
I agree with that.
And as great as we see Andy Reid is, he probably doesn't have a Super Bowl without Mahomes.
Well, no, but so that's
the Alex Smith or somebody else. I know, but I'm saying that's the reboot. You got the best quarterback.
So if I can respond to just both the points you guys made real quick. First of all, Wilds. The Niners took the Chiefs to overtime, right? And so and I'm not attacking Purdy, but the reason I think Brew is saying next year is so critical is after next year you decide if in order to keep Brock Purdy you have to lose so many of those great players that helped get you there. But the Andy comp is a good one because while early in Andy's career he lost playoff games to Brad Johnson and Jake Delhomme in conference title games, people were like, man, you had McNabb in his prime. After that, Andy's playoff games in Philly, he lost to Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Kurt Warner, Tony Romo in his best year, and Aaron Rodgers. And so every time, even though Andy had McNabb and then Mike Vick, he was at the QB disadvantage except for maybe one of those years, Vick versus Romo. Or that might have been McNabb versus Romo, I don't quite remember. And so I do think there's an element of, and this is why I push back on the pumpkin alert stuff, even though I thought Kyle had some game management issues, where you have to overcome so much if every playoff game, and in Kyle's career with the Niners, you can argue he's been at the disadvantage at the quarterback spot from a talent perspective in every playoff game except for the one against Geno in Brock Purdy's first playoff game.
That's like me wearing shorts every day in the winter. You're like, man, I sure am cold. Like, yeah, man, it's your decision to wear shorts during the winter.
Yeah, but you can't
He's picked up the pie chart and decided to spend 1% of it on Brock Purdy and have a bunch of...
They did try to get Trey Lance, and they blew it. You know what I mean?
That didn't work. Okay,
yeah,
so
like,
am I supposed to? What am I supposed to cry about that?
No, but Wilds, let's say they decided, you know what? Let's say this offseason, they decided, you know what? Forget this philosophy. We are going to get rid of all these expensive stars because we want to pick a quarterback off the franchise quarterback tree. Who are they getting? The answer is Kirk Cousins if they're lucky. Like, it's not like you're presenting it as if they've had these options to get great quarterbacks. They did right when he got there, and they didn't scout Mahomes. They decided we're going to get Kirk the next year, and that was a mistake. But after that, it's not like they've had a ton of options where we are choosing not to have a great quarterback because those great quarterbacks don't come available. He tried to get Tom Brady repeatedly.
It didn't work.
Right.
Try harder.
Okay.
So I'm just saying, try harder. I just don't like being like, oh, poor Kyle, if he only had a quarterback. Like, we're choosing to have a young quarterback.
All right.
Man, I got 880. Let you in on the process. We have a Google Doc to put stories into. But if you really want a story in the show, you text the producers. See if you at home can guess who texted this report from Albert Breer. Some may question Brock Purdy, but Spags and the Chiefs defensive staff don't. They were blown away by how he ripped apart the zone look. One of the coaches told me he sees Drew Brees qualities in Purdy. Brew, your reaction.
Wiles, that might have been your best read
Thanks.
Of this football season. That was great.
Well, I'm glad all these people watch the show. And a lot of smart football people are now making the comparison of Brock Purdy to Drew Brees. Myself, a Super Bowl winning coach, whoever that coach is, he's on the Super Bowl staff.
Why wouldn't, I mean, this is a compliment.
I know,
You have to anonymously don't.
And Drew Brees himself.
Drew Brees.
Look at Drew Brees himself.
What did Drew
making
Brees himself say?
We're about to see. I was roundly mocked by all of you for making this comparison. That's Drew Brees saying it himself. I mean, come on, coach. 4-1 in the playoffs when he plays.
I don't know which coach on the staff said it. Maybe the strength and conditioning coach said it. But
I think it might have been Spags off the record.
Can I just show you what the game plan was for that?
Oh, yes.
Let's see if we can see we just wanted Brock to throw the ball. So I don't remember going to any game against Drew Brees and going, hey, we just want Drew Brees to throw the ball. That's all we want to do. And then let's take a look at Drew Purdy's stats. Okay, so in the first half, he was 6.7, then 52.9. That doesn't seem very Brees-esque. Typically, Drew got a little bit better as the game went on, as he figured out how things were going to unfold. That's not really Drew Brees-esque. And look, post-Super Bowl, as a winner, you tend to be very generous with your compliments of the other team, and I think that was a very nice thing for them to say.
You know I'm right.
Can I make just a point here?
He was chewing up their zone.
The game plan was
Spags was like, we got to change the zone.
If Drew Brees were on this Niners team, it'd have been the greatest team ever.
Currently or vintage Drew Brees?
Maybe currently, but certainly here. Listen,
they tried to sign him in the offseason after he didn't get Brady.
I just would like a little respect on Drew Brees' name. I know Saints fans don't like me because I'm the only person that understands their salary cap in the national, from their local media. But this is one of the 15 greatest quarterbacks ever, who from 2008 to 2016 averaged 5,000 yards a year. Averaged it. And it's like, his number one receiver most years was Marcus Colston, who was Jimmy. Yeah, he was good. He would be wide receiver 3 on the Niners. is what he would be. And so, again, like I am not trying to. I have been very nice to Brock Purdy the last couple days because I thought he played fine in the Super Bowl. And I thought, he kind of played into the Chiefs' hands as far as they were trying to take away the run to make him throw because they were more scared of Christian than they were of Brock. And Brock, to his credit, didn't make any brutal mistakes. He had, if you're doing the wows and yikes, he only got one yikes and he got away with it. And he had a couple wows, so I give him credit. But the Drew Brees thing, you're right, Brew. I made fun of you, and I will for years.
A comp is not saying he's going to be Drew Brees.
He's closer in Super Bowls to Drew Brees than Mahomes is to Brady.
Okay.
You do the math.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.